Howdy, folks, and today we are talking about healthcare and education and whether or not they are fundamental human rights. Now, obviously, whether you think they are or aren't is a matter of opinion, and there's no wrong answer, but this is why, personally, I don't think they are. This is an excerpt from the World Health Organization. It says the right to health for all people means that everyone should have access to the health services they need when and where they need them without suffering undue financial hardship. That sounds pretty good on the surface. It tugs at the heartstrings, so to speak. But what that doesn't show is that it also puts hardship on other people. Now, both education and healthcare are services that have to be provided by other people. You can't just go to the store and get healthcare. You can't just go to the store and get education. You can, but for this point, it's beside the point. Anyway, somebody has to learn how to be a teacher. Somebody has to learn how to be a doctor. And that takes, depending on which one you do, a lot of time, money, or both. As such, both doctors and teachers expect to get paid for their efforts. Now, imagine a scenario where a doctor has a slew of patients, most of whom can pay, some of whom can't. And maybe he's charitable and he treats those that can't pay for some period of time. Ultimately, he has a limited amount of time in the day, and he is going to, at some point, run out of the charitable spirit, and he's going to replace the people that can't pay with more people that can. After all, he did not become a doctor for free. But in a world where healthcare is a right, that doctor has to treat those patients that can't pay, whether he gets compensated for it or not. And we have a word for that. It's called slavery, and it's not okay. So, since we can't force doctors to work for free, in a world where healthcare is a right, the only other option is to collect taxes from the people that can pay to subsidize the salary of the doctor for the people that can't. And in addition to that, the people that can pay are now having to wait in line for the people that can't pay, whom they're also paying for, which means they have to wait longer to get care, even though they could already pay from the get-go. So, in regard to that excerpt from the beginning from the WHO, that is both a financial hardship and a time hardship for the people that could pay in the beginning. Those hardships still exist, they're just being transferred from one person to another or many. All that being said, I understand that there are people out there with bad luck, or they've had bad luck from the moment they were born, and there's nothing that they can do about it, and it's not their fault. Now, regardless of all the other myriad problems with the healthcare system, I do think that in this country, there is enough to go around for everybody. The key, though, is that it has to be voluntary. The instant you start forcing people to do things or give up something that they don't want is the instant they start trying to worm their way out of it, and it's the instant they start resenting the people they're being forced to subsidize. And resentment never breeds anything good. Let me put it this way. When was the last time you felt good about paying taxes? And when was the last time you felt bad about giving to charity? I've noticed a lot of articles, particularly about GoFundMe, and how a lot of people seem to use that as some evidence that our healthcare system is broken, and that these people are reduced to begging for money to pay their bills. But the reality is, I'm not going to say people should be begging for money, but the point is people are voluntarily giving their money to people that need it instead of being forced to. That's how it should be. Now, this doesn't just apply to healthcare and education. In theory, it should apply to everything. If you've ever heard the phrase, taxation is theft, and I get it is a little bit of a meme, but this is the philosophy that's behind that phrase. Now, are you an asshole if you have something to give but don't? Maybe. but you're definitely more of an asshole if you force other people not to be assholes. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Ciao.